But I think what might be helpful is also to understand sort of the practical challenges of doing research. And I know this as a consumer of research from days of being a trainer uh, to my exercise science time, even as a practicing therapist, is you get frustrated by sort of the lack of research or research that doesn't seem relevant. But when you try to do research, you start to understand why there's so many gaps in literature. And to get down to brass tacks, the reality is most of the research that's going to interest any of us in this conversation is not funded, meaning you don't get paid to do it. And I didn't know this starting my training as a researcher, but I learned it eventually is that, there's funded research, there's not funded research. In terms of funded research, there's industry sponsored research, that's pharmaceuticals, medical devices. A lot of that's not relevant for our interests. And then the other source of funding is government funding. And, they're not going to, you're probably not going to have a well-funded trial to look at what hypertrophy is 44-year-olds, for aesthetic gain, right? Like that's not probably the best use for taxpayer funds.
Says who?
And so,
Says
yeah,
who? Not these 40
yeah.
40-year-olds, something.